What's going on, dumpster divers? It's your boy Emperor Tim on the mic. Of course, I'm joined with the boy Jay Zilla on the right and the majestic one on the left. And in today's episode, it's going to be an interesting one. With me talking about soundtracks and just music in video games. Now, you guys probably know how I feel about this topic, but for you guys, like, what's your opinion on music in video games? Like, do you think it's significant to a video game, or are you guys like those people who just kind of tune out the music in video games? Because I know a lot of people do that, you know, but yeah, like,
I personally think that
excuse me,
it goes both ways. Like, so there's certain games that I think the music is essential. It's very pivotal to a game. Good music will have you listen to it while you play it, while bad music will just have you tune it out. So it has to be something that like really captures the moment, or else like if it's just too much or like it doesn't blend well, I kind of just mute it.
I don't know. For me, music is pretty much life, because like it kind of gives you that hype of that game. You know what I'm saying? True. But like in a way, it's like I think about it now. It's just like in my point of view, or what I see is that like the soundtracks of video games have gotten worse. To be honest,
they have.
Like, whereas compared to like some of the older titles, they had like what's it called? Tracks that sounded valid to the point where I was just like, yo, I'm getting mad hype. I can't stop playing this game.
Now, do you think that downgrade in quality is because of kind of like the emphasis on voice acting in video games now?
I think that's what it is, to be honest. It's more of now voice acting.
Because, back then the technology was a little more limited, so they kind of had to focus on music because they didn't have the ability to have voice acting in video games. So I think that's definitely an interesting point. But I know for me, like, kind of going back to what you were saying, I always felt like music, not just in video games, like this can go to like other like media formats like movies and like TV shows, but I feel like most importantly video games, like music is what I usually grasp onto like after I complete a game or just stop playing it. That's like the one thing that I always remember. That's why I feel like if you remember like all your favorite childhood games, what's the first thing you always think of or feel the most nostalgic for? It's usually the music. Like when I go on YouTube and like I think of a game that I haven't played in a long time, I don't really watch gameplay footage of it, and I listen to the music. And I haven't really done any studies on this or whatever, but I always felt like, when we play games, it's like we play it to kind of escape reality. We like 100%. To go into a different, usually a fictional world, and I feel like music usually, I think you were saying something about, or it was you, like if the music is good, it helps you like submerge yourself into the universe. You know what I mean? But again, like if it's bad, then it's bad.
No, I agree with you on that. I think that was John who said it, because John was the one that was bringing it up like that.
There's definitely there's certain games that really just capture that, like whatever moment. Like you can have a free roam game, and then there will be like some song to it that will really capture the moment of free roaming. I know like Red Dead Redemption 2 and like Red Dead, like those games, when you free roam, they really focus on music that was like from that time period. So there's certain aspects also, like, with certain things, like you have people chasing you, and then it's definitely like chase music. But then when you're just walking about, or there's like a cutscene and it shows like vast scenery, the music blends well nice with it. Then you have other games that are like, if it's going up to a boss, you definitely want to have something upbeat, lively, like getting you hyped for it. And some games, they just don't capture those moments, I think. But there are a lot out there that do, that still, especially like not just having the same song for like each thing, like the same song for chasing or the same song for each boss, but like different bosses. Like some games have a where each boss has like its own theme music too, and I think that's like something that is essential to any game.
Yeah, for me, it's like when I say the word hype, it doesn't mean by like this like an action thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. It could be either any game. Like it could be a peaceful game, like legit a peaceful game, but the soundtrack sounds valid to the point you're just like, this is fucking good. Like the soundtrack is very peaceful and it's like what you guys said. It kind of submerges you into like that flow of the game. But that's the reason why I call it hype. It's like a hype music because it kind of hypes you up to feel like, yo, this is relaxing, or this is like it could be anything. Like it could be from just like a regular game or one that's just based off like simulating kind of stuff. Like there's like a lot of people have that type of things to think about like when it comes to hype music.
No, yeah, like, I like what you guys are saying about like that kind of like atmospheric. I don't know if that's a word, but like that atmospheric like kind of nature to like soundtracks, because I mean we're gonna talk about our favorite soundtracks, but one thing that came to mind was like the Donkey Kong Country series.
Ooh.
How like every level like the music would match the atmosphere that you're playing in. Like if it's like a snowy level, you'd have like that kind of icy like echoey sounds to the music, or if you're like in a cave, it'd be all quiet and you know like that. So it definitely, again, it goes back to the point where you're trying to escape to that reality. It definitely does help drive that home.
Yeah, that's a fact, because like when you said Donkey Kong, like immediately like I just thought of like all the levels that they had, and how like every song was different, but you could tell like, okay, I'm in a cave, or like I'm in the jungle and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I mean, while we're at it, I guess we can talk about some of our favorite soundtracks from video games, whether it be recent or from our childhood.
Ooh, I have a lot from back then though.
Yeah. So I think from my childhood has definitely been like Sonic, like Green Hill.
Ooh,
it's iconic.
Also Crash Bandicoot had some interesting like.
I've never really like played a Crash Bandicoot.
It was very like tribal drumish.
Okay.
So I think it really captured those moments. But then like also when you change certain levels, it had a different type of twist. Like there was a level with like pyramids and Egyptian, and it had more like Egyptian themed music, and that stayed in my mind, especially when I was a little younger. I don't think like when I was younger, I don't think I paid attention to the music so much as I do now. So like. I think the other day, like I was telling you, we were in the car when it came up. Like I just decided to listen to the Iceborne soundtrack for Monster Hunter, and then like this whole playlist had like all the older music from the older titles, and like it was so like I want to say with very orchestra pieces, and it was nice, like, and some of it was like very peaceful, like that you could just be having played in the background and have like a good day, like just doing stuff around the house. So there's that. Let me see, another track that comes to my mind is the alert track from Metal Gear Solid, like the old PlayStation one.
I never really played Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, so it's the iconic and then it's the like the whole chase music where you're like trying to hide and run. It's like
Oh, okay,
yeah, so it's like
gotcha.
that always stayed to my mind. I remember I had that as like a ringtone for a while on my phone too.
What a dweeb.
Yeah, big facts.
No, it's all good. It's like I kind of do the same thing with some of the songs.
Nah, I feel you. So what about you?
Oh, I got a lot, to be honest. Like I can remember from like, it's like what you said with Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, definitely. Bro.
That was good. Like I have like a lot different ones. Like I can remember from like even hype ones and like peaceful ones. Like from what was it? Mario 64, the Aqua Stage.
Oh god, yeah, that's classic. Yeah, you know, when I used to intern at like this media place, I literally used to play like the 10-hour loop of that.
Yeah,
just put my headphones in and just like the entire shift.
It just like, I don't know, it was like a peaceful song, but it was like still valid. Like it was crazy. And like I remember, I don't know if you guys played like the Mega Man series, Mega Man X, I think was it. Like I remember there was this one boss. It was like an electric one, and every time I hear that one, that song was mad hype. It was like, I was like, yo, that shit was fire. But then I don't remember too much too, because like I also remember like there was some Maple Story songs as well.
Oh yeah, that was classic. What you guys know about that? What you guys know about Maple Story?
Wait, but when we talk about soundtracks too, we also consider like the ones that had like the vocals too.
Yes.
Because I also liked Escape from the City from Sonic Adventure. That one was...
Well, also, like, soundtracks, like, when I think of soundtracks, I think of, like, original pieces. Like, stuff that came from that game. Because, like, you have, like, Need for Speed.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, like, Most Wanted and Carbon had, like, really awesome soundtracks. But there weren't original songs. Like, it wasn't from there.
Usually, like, sports games, you'll usually...
They'll just use regular...
Which isn't really a bad thing, but, you know.
Yeah, but like, sometimes you gotta think about it. Like, you prefer to have, like, original tracks.
And there's some things that, some games that the soundtracks, like, Rocket League, they had music made for that game, and now it's like, when you listen to it, you wouldn't think it's made for that game, but it was. And it has vocals and everything, and I think it was pretty good, like, especially because it was, whenever I played Rocket League, like, that kind of got me into the mode and like everything. The only thing that sucked was that once you started a match, like, the music was over.
Oh yeah, because it got like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was more like the menu music and all that stuff. Yeah. That's true.
Music.
There was another game that had pretty good tracks too. I'm trying to remember. Like. I mean, even the character selections, like, they're pretty good too. Like, I don't know if it's an original soundtrack, the one from, I think it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I wanna take you for a ride. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Very sus, yeah. But yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, like, for me personally, I'm a sucker for, like, 16-bit, like, Super Nintendo era soundtracks, like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3 or 6, you know, like the Donkey Kong Country series. I just feel like music in video games, it just seemed like there was more of an emphasis placed on that compared to now. Not saying that there aren't, like, great modern soundtracks, like something that comes to mind would be like The Last of Us. I think that had a great soundtrack to it. If we're talking about, like, modern indie games, Celeste had one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. But yeah, it's just it's disappointing because I kind of do feel like these days, like, yeah, like, music in video games is not really
original either.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like, and again, not saying that that's a bad thing, like when you're talking about, like, a 2K soundtrack, they use, like, actual music. That's not bad. You know, usually you'll find a lot of music on there where you would have never listened to in the first place, you know, so there's that. But yeah, this is,
I think that's literally the only thing I could say, like, for sports games or like those type of games that don't use like their generic version of, like, songs, because that's, like, sometimes, like, especially for FIFA, like, I listen to, like, some of their soundtracks, and if I've never heard that song before, I'll actually put it on my Spotify.
Yeah, there's something, like, there's something to that, you know. It's not a bad thing.
Speaking of, like, with all this, one feature that was pretty awesome, and I have to say, was, like, with Metal Gear, you actually had an item in your bag that was, like, the cassette player.
Really?
And you could, like, as you progress, like, I think Guns of the Patriot, I remember first seeing this in Guns of the Patriot, excuse me, was you had a cassette player. As you progress and find stuff, collectibles and everything, you found, like, tracks. And it would unlock in your cassette player. So you could put the cassette player and play the music that was from the game. And it was, like, all original music too. So you basically had this option to change the music that was there.
Oh wow.
So you could play it, and then when you have it, like, when you put it on, the emphasis was more on the music. So it was, like, actually, like, you felt them put the headphones on and stuff like that, because, like, the other noise was kind of muffled a little bit. And I thought that was a cool feature. And then being able to give the option to, like, select the music that you wanted to listen to.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because I know, like, I think now, like, nowadays, like, the old games that are getting remastered, they're like pretty much like adding a feature where you could actually just listen to the soundtracks now.
Yeah.
Like I know Mega Man Zero's collection has that. The Mega Man X collection has that.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that because I saw that recently. Now they're putting soundtracks.
There's also stuff like I've noticed that lately, within the past 2 years, games were like pre-orders of deluxe editions or stuff like that. You get the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it's a completely underrated feature because like I really didn't start paying attention to the music to games till very recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like being able to have actual copies of the soundtracks where I could just listen to it through there rather than playing the game and like
yeah. Because like that's the funny thing because I think when I got I don't know if it was the Wii U one,
mm-hmm.
if you pre-ordered it you got the soundtrack.
Right.
I still have that shit too.
Wait, for what game?
I think it was Brawl. Wait, was it Brawl or Smash 4?
Where?
Yeah,
came with
Smash
CD
4.
soundtrack.
Yeah, they came with the CD soundtrack.
I mean, speaking of that, there's actually like a whole like sub community for like record collecting in terms of like video game soundtracks.
Oh, really?
It's pretty dope. It's expensive, but it's dope.
Damn, I didn't know that. But like I think like, but like that's a good thing though. Like how they're bringing soundtracks back into like the whole video game stuff because like it's like what y'all said like it makes you feel like you're in the game. You know, instead of you just playing the game and all you hear is the acting and like explosions and all that stuff. Sometimes like once in a blue moon, it's actually pretty good to have that type of soundtracks and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird too because like even what John said too, like there'll be times like I don't know why, but like there'll be random moments where I'm like either home or like, and then like something pops up in my head and I start singing the soundtracks of some of the games. Like a few weeks ago, like I had that Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you guys played the Dragon Ball Z. What was it? Budokai. I think it was Budokai.
Is that on PS2?
It was on PS2. I know it was on GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
So Budokai, the first Dragon Ball Z fighting game that was like 3D-ish.
Right.
There was one soundtrack that I actually did like, and it was in my head for a while. And then I was like, damn, this thing is getting stuck in my head. And I ended up going on my computer and actually started listening to it while I was editing videos and stuff like that.
You know what song just came to my mind just now as we're talking about this? Billy Hatcher.
Ooh.
Billy Hatcher. Interesting.
No, but like it's like I don't know. It's just like those moments where you're just like yeah, it's true what John said too. Like where like when you're younger, you don't really care about it.
Really don't.
But like once you get older, you're just
Take
like
it for granted.
you just start listening to some of the soundtracks that you used to listen to.
Because I think when you get older too, like you find that music definitely has a strong connection with a lot of things, especially like emotions, thought processes.
Yeah.
Like how many times do you listen to like a depressing song and you're just like crying for no reason? Or how many times do you listen to like a song like at the gym that just pumps you up, like you get going? So it's such a like there's such a strong connection between like music and how you feel. So it's something that definitely like if you want to make a good game, definitely have a decent budget for music. Because that's I feel like music could definitely cover up flaws within other aspects of the games, like for example graphics or stuff like that. You know,
Definitely.
You don't need a good graphic game to have really great music.
Yeah. Like in a way also too, like with the whole music stuff, it's like I know for a fact like the older games is what like a lot of people like playing nowadays.
Right.
What? Oh my god. But
Typical.
yeah, kid, relax.
Come on.
I actually forgot what I was gonna say.
Interesting.
Yeah, anything you guys gonna say before I remember what I was gonna say?
Well, I like what you said about like how music like really like I feel like for me like music always brings me back to certain moments in my life. Like I know like randomly I'll just start humming like the Halo 3 theme song out of nowhere, and then I'll be in the shower and I'll be like, ooh,
you'll start kneeling down crying,
and I'm like, damn, remember when I was in 7th grade and like life was easy and like you just stay up all night playing Halo 3.
Okay, that makes sense. Now I remember what I was actually gonna say now.
Yeah.
Too late, nobody cares.
No, they do care. The 34 viewers that actually do care about us.
Shouts out.
I had 1, 2, 3 viewers.
That is true. But it actually
it was 123.
Wait, we had 123 viewers?
Yeah.
What's up?
On my video.
Yeah. So like, I also want to talk like listening even sometimes like even though this is off topic in a way, but like even like some of the anime tracks are pretty good. But like there'll be times where I'm like recording, and if like sometimes that can actually help you motivate yourself too with like music, because like I was listening to like I was saying about that whole Dragon Ball Z, like there was this other song that I was listening to. I think it was the one of the Mega Man tracks. No, it was the Fox track from Super Smash. It's like it kind of has that upbeat, like it's like you're fighting. I think you're fighting against Wolf or something like that. But like I had that moment where I was listening to that track and I don't know why. Whenever I get motivated or I feel like hyped, my spine tingles. Like I feel that spine tingle.
Yeah, like the hairs on the back of your neck just go up. But that's like when we were on Discord.
Yes.
When I was editing the video for the bet, and I found a website, Red Bull Sound Supply, and they're just like you pay for those licenses to put in your videos and stuff, but like the music that's available on there is like nothing but hype music. And it definitely was something that helped me with the editing for the video, like finding that exact like mood to capture and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's like when you edit a video, like I don't know, it could be just like the way I think, but like when I feel like I'm editing a video, I feel like I'm like making a game, you know what I'm saying? Like a game trailer or something like that. Bam!
What the hell?
Yo, of course, this weeb couldn't go a video without mentioning anime.
I'm sorry. I love anime. I'm an otaku.
You weeb.
I think that's how you say it.
Otaku? What?
Otaku. I think that's what it is.
Ooh, girl.
Oh, tacos?
I do like tacos.
It's kind of racist.
Typical.
That is
it's not Taco Tuesday, kid. But anyways, off topic.
Well, yeah. That was kind of off topic.
Yeah, I know.
It took the weeb to bring up off topic. But anyways, you guys have any final thoughts? Like, you guys have anything like going forward in terms of music and video games?
I mean, I know I mentioned something about like Metal Gear Solid with the cassette player, and it really made me start thinking at that moment, like, what about you guys? Like, especially you viewers, leave a comment below and everything. Let us know what you think about this. Like, would you want more ways to have the music interactive with the game? Like,
what do you mean by interactive?
So for example, like with Metal Gear Solid, you had the cassette player that allowed you to change the music while playing, and like made it sound like a feature where like you were actually listening on headphones. Would you like to see stuff like that in certain games, like especially like games that do a lot of free roam and exploration? Like you had like an MP3 player within the game that you could select the music.
I could see
and
that.
then have it as a built-in feature where, you know, it sounds like it's coming from headphones.
Yeah, even if it's like not even like that type of a feature. Like, I don't know why that thing that you just said just gave me the idea of like, even if it was like a Zelda game, like where like you could like be fighting or whatever, that you could always have that moment where like they could bring in an Easter egg and bring like the flute that like the flute that Link had back in, which one was it? The Ocarina of Time. Like you could be playing that. You could do that as a side thing where you're just like playing just the music in general. Like it'll just make you feel comfortable. I feel like that's what it is.
I actually used to, like, back in the day when like there was like Walkmans and stuff, I literally used to record the music off of the TV screen. And like listen to the music like in the car and stuff, like on that like the cassette thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. What's up?
Nah, but yeah, leave us some comments like what favorite soundtracks did you like in any video game that you guys like, even if it's like an old school game. Well, I mean, leave the like if you know the name of the song, let it leave it in the section, in the comment section.
I'm sick.
Leave it in the comment section. And maybe we might listen to some of your soundtracks.
True.
Well, this kind of gave me an idea. We have a Discord server now. We'll definitely drop a link in the description of this video. But maybe we'll come up with a music channel where everybody could share their thoughts or like their playlists. We could probably come up with a whole joint playlist on Spotify that everybody could listen to of like what we think are our favorite songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, like video games and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So yeah, we'll work on that.
But until then, guys, we're gonna let you leave it off with Tim.
Take it away.
R.I.P. Guitar Hero and Rock Band.